Okay. Right. Good evening, guys. I hope you're having a good Sunday. So, I just wanted to jump on as I had a thought that I wanted to share. So, basically, when I'm in a rush to go somewhere, which is most of the time, usually because I have a bit of an issue with punctuality. So I might leave my home in a rush and it's a bit of a mess when I leave. And then my typical day, I might be back and forth. So each time I come back, it might be a little bit hectic. And so I kind of build on the mess. And sometimes when it's a mess, I just kind of keep adding to it because I'm like, well, I know it's a mess. I'm going to clear it up later. So I just get into my head that I'm going to do the big, wonderful clear up later on. And so I just keep adding to the mess. And then eventually when I do have to clear it up, it is an absolute ball ache to do because I've let it become such a big mess. And it's frustrating, and it's a habit that I'm trying to get out of because, I do clear things up and then, I'm doing things a bit at a time, but, it takes a lot more effort and a lot more time than if I was just to kind of be mindful. Even if I couldn't keep things pristine as I went along, then, at least try to minimize the mess so that I wasn't left with this epic task later on. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this, tidying up, what's it got to do with what I do? Well, it's very much like some people's attitudes at this time of year, which, don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing because I used to do this as well. But when we get to November, especially the middle of November, we're surrounded by Christmas stuff everywhere. And so some of us get into that kind of sod it attitude. Christmas is around the corner. There's going to be so much temptation. I'm going to be at so many different social occasions. Sod eating healthily, sod, sticking to a routine of working out or even starting one. There's no point. I'm just going to do it all in January. And like this, really, I know it was probably very hard to see through that whole analogy, but it is a very real analogy for me. So you're kind of essentially waiting for that big cleanup in January, which is going to take so much effort because you've got to clear everything away. Otherwise, you're just going to be kind of building mess upon mess and upon mess as you go. So don't write off the rest of the year waiting for January. You don't have to, it's a really fatalistic approach. It's not exactly positive thinking. But you don't have to be so fatalistic. If you're feeling like there's no point, then just check in with yourself. What is your mindset about it? Because that's very much coming from an all or nothing way of thinking. If you're thinking, well, I can't do it perfectly, then there's no point doing it at all. Well, you don't have to do things perfectly. And real life isn't like that. Even if beyond the first 2 weeks of January, you're not going to be doing everything perfectly. And that's not what life is. And that's not what any kind of healthy living program or healthy living way of life is, because things are not always going to be perfect. There's a lot of things in your control, and it doesn't take this really stoic monk or nun-like sense of sacrifice that you need over this Christmas season. You can make healthy choices. You can kind of enjoy yourself, relax a little bit, but just do so in a way that isn't going to completely derail you and add to the mess that you've got to clean up in January. So where I'm going with this is work out what things are in your control, and it is a lot more than you think. And just kind of focus on what you will see as the essentials. Think about nourishing yourself over this winter period, making sure that you're getting your half a plate of veggies in each meal. Make sure that you are getting to bed at a decent hour, that you're getting enough sleep, that you're staying active as much as possible. So that's what I wanted to say. I was just thinking, just as I've been clearing up this mess that's kind of been accumulating, I just thought actually that's what a lot of people are doing at this time of year. So my advice, my recommendations, obviously from working with so many clients, just from myself, it's going to make life a lot harder in January, and that's not to put you off, but still focus on yourself. And it's really important, especially come December when life is hectic, to make sure that you are as well nourished, as well exercised, as looked after as possible, because of course, with it being social season, you know, we're interacting a lot more, which is wonderful. Of course, it's a good time for sort of illnesses to do the rounds, so make sure that you're looking after yourself in that sense. And yeah, you want to be well rested so you can enjoy the festivities with energy and feeling good. So don't write everything off. Don't leave that pile of mess until January. Just keep thinking on how to look after yourself, how to support yourself. And it's with that in mind that I'm, you know, really focusing on supporting my membership, my clients, throughout the rest of this winter, leading up to the rest of the year, because there is so much that we can do, you know, with the meal planning, whether that's personalized one-to-one meal plans, or whether it's meal plans that I'm providing for the group. You know, we're all going to be focusing on just making sure that we're giving you as much nourishment as possible so that you can make those healthy choices. And with the online workouts, you know, even if you're not doing personal training with me one-to-one, with the online workouts, that gives you options and so much flexibility to work around a hectic sort of winter Christmas schedules. They're sort of 15-20 minutes. You can fit them in wherever it's suitable for you. So if that is going to help you tick over until January, brilliant. You are more than welcome. It is a community. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, head to You by Anthea. So that's all one word, YOU, byanthea.co.uk/together. That's You by Anthea, YOUBYANTHEA.co.uk/together. Really had to think about how to spell my name then. But yeah, that just, even if you're not joining the group, just don't write everything off. Look after yourself, get the most out of this season, and clear up as you go along. Right, have a fabulous rest of your evening, and I will catch up with you guys soon. Bye-bye. I'm going to stop this recording.